What's up, everyone? My name is Jason, and about 2 years ago, when I was completely broke, I was working a dead-end 9-to-5 job that I absolutely fucking hated. I was in college pursuing a degree because my parents told me to go there. I didn't even know what I wanted to do with my life. 2 years ago, I got vividly clear on what I wanted the future of my life to look like. And when I say vividly clear, I mean literally we're gonna go through it in this video. Like, vividly clear. I made pictures, I wrote out text, I made this entire document about what I wanted the future of Jason Malucci's life to look like. And fast forward 2 years to today, okay? One of the scariest things ever, okay? This will fucking freak you out, and I'm gonna show you in this video. A lot of the things that I drew up for myself came true, and they are true today. It's very scary. It's weird. It makes me feel weird, okay? It makes me feel weird making this video, okay? It's a very, what I'm about to show you in this video, it's very vulnerable, because this is where I was 2 years ago when I had nothing going for me, and my life has changed a lot since then, and I think you guys could benefit a lot from hearing this. So essentially what happened is the people I looked up to at the time, I just started trying to get into this, make money online space. I just started trying to get rich, and a lot of rich people that I would watch online or I looked up to online, I'll name one in particular in a second, a lot of rich people kept talking about like the law of attraction and how if you get vividly clear on your goals, that like it sort of just manifests into your life, and that you can make your life whatever you want it to be. And obviously that's a very empowering belief to have. So while I didn't know whether it was true or not at the time, I just assumed it was. And like I said, I started getting vividly clear on my goals, and I'm gonna show you guys in just a second. But I would literally stare at this document for twice a day. I did it twice a day, okay? And I would stare at this document and I would just visualize certain things happening to me, and I would repeat certain things to myself. I literally lied to myself. Like, I literally had to lie to myself to get rich. I would tell myself that I was a certain way, or that, I was rich, and I told myself that lie enough times, and it actually fucking happened. So before I show you this, the person that I got this document from was a guy named Charlie Morgan. He's on YouTube, you can go check him out. I believe he got this from Sam Ovens, but in this document, this one's titled Lifestyle, okay? I laid out what I wanted my lifestyle to look like. So as you guys can see here in the top left, I laid out where I'll live. That's literally a Miami high-rise apartment, and I made this when I was broke and I had nothing going for me. Fast forward to today, it deadass looks like damn near the same apartment. Like, when I tell you guys this shit is scary, I laid out what I'll drive. That was a Mercedes AMG CLE 53, okay? That's like, I think you can get that car for like $60,000 or something. I could buy that car in cash right now. Like, that's fucking crazy. I had a picture there of me traveling. That's like a picture of the airport, because I always wanted to travel. I literally, can travel anytime I want. I'm going to LA next month. Like, that's crazy. And the bottom left was a picture of what I wanted my friend group to look like. I had dropped out of college and ditched my old life. So I essentially had no friends at the time. And I always like envisioned a group of entrepreneur friends that, were like-minded that I wanted. I mean, I literally have that right now, which is fucking insane. And this was a picture of what I wanted to look like, right? I wanted tattoos. I love tattoos personally. I still got to get more tattoos, but, I can never afford tattoos. So obviously I got some tattoos now. That's just a personal one. I just personally like tattoos a lot. So I also wrote text out of what I wanted my life to look like in the 3 areas of my life: health, wealth, and relationships. So I'll read some of them out. So for relationships, I wrote, I have a friend group that inspires me to get better. I have a friend group that I love to make content with. I always wanted to make content with like a group of friends, so I'm able to do that now. I live with friends in a big city. Like, that's literally exactly what I do. It's fucking scary, this document. Let me read you some other ones. Having a Mercedes CLE 53 AMG. I could literally buy that car cash right now. Able to buy a first class plane ticket anywhere spontaneously. I fly first class everywhere I go now, pretty much. I'm making 20K to 30K per month easily. That's 100% accurate. That's exactly what I do right now. And like, I literally used to write out these affirmations, as corny as it sounds, that I would say to myself every single day, and I would feel the emotion of what it felt like. I would deeply visualize it. Like, let me read some of these to you. I believe that money is extremely abundant, and I imagine trillions of dollars getting printed every day and $100,000 sitting in my bank account. I would vividly imagine that every single day, okay? At the time, I was doing a lot of cold outreach, so I would say I love cold outreach. I have 100% confidence in my offer, and I love making looms and sending outreach every single day without skipping one. I feel assured and faithful that no matter what, I'll achieve my goals and dreams. I'm at peace knowing God has chosen me to be great and will stop at nothing to make sure I am. I feel peaceful and blissful knowing there's no way I fail. I literally lied to myself. I have lied to myself enough times that I eventually got rich and this shit came true. Anyways, you guys get the point. I laid out a vision of what I wanted my life to look like, even when I had nothing, when I was broke, when I was poor, whatever you want to say. I got very specific, like vividly, like psychotically specific about what I wanted my life to look like, and I would literally envision it and lie to myself every single day enough times until it came true. And guess what? Even at the current level I'm at, I have a vision for what I want my life to look like 2 years from today, and I do the same thing. I didn't want to believe it either. I didn't want to believe that this shit was real or the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it. Like, I thought that shit was corny. I would always say that, but it's scary how accurate this is. And if there's a couple things I've learned from this entire process, it's this. Number one, do not chase the goal. Do not chase the material thing on the other end of all the hard work. Chase the identity, the person that you need to become in order to make accomplishing that goal undeniable. Okay, so here's what I mean. It's important to get specific on what you want in life. It's important to know that, yeah, you want to be driving a G-Wagon, okay? You want to, be making hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, and these material, goals that you have. These things are great. But what you should get even more clear on is, what does the person who accomplishes that goal, what are their character traits, okay? They're probably extremely confident. They're probably charismatic. They're probably very consistent. They probably don't fear failure as much, There's certain character traits that the person you want to become has. And if you can make that the goal, if you could chase the identity of the person who's capable of accomplishing the goals you want to accomplish, rather than just chasing the goals themselves, you will have a far higher likelihood of actually achieving the thing. Well, I'll give you some things that I wrote down on this paper right here that helped me do this, right? So I wrote this section called Unquestionable Standards. It said, and it was basically some character traits that I knew I had to have if I wanted to be successful. I said, I'm consistent and I never miss a day. I'm fearless in business and sales. I seek the painful work and I'm not afraid of the truth. I ruthlessly do the inputs and then trust God with all outputs, okay? I'm at peace and trust God 100% with all outcomes. I'm a perpetual learner and I derive all joy from learning and getting better rather than essentially like my accomplishments, right? That was kind of a growth mindset thing, but you get the point. Chase the identity and the goals will follow. The second thing I learned from doing this is that I aimed retardedly low. My goals were so fucking miniature back then. Granted, I would, to give myself a little bit of a pat on the back, I was absolutely poor, I was broke, and I had a completely different mindset. I really just did not know what was possible in this world, and how fast things can change. Like, things can change way quicker than you think. You can accomplish things way bigger than you're probably currently imagining. For example, on that document I showed you, my dream car was to drive a fucking Mercedes CLE 53 AMG. That is a fucking peon car right now, okay? Like, I could buy that car in cash. If that was my dream car, I would cry if that was my dream car, okay? Same thing with a lot of those goals. Like, I wanted to stack $10,000 in my bank account. And I want to emphasize, it's good to have stair-step goals. Like, obviously, you can't just be poor and say you want to be a billionaire. Like, that doesn't exactly work and correlate as well. Like, you have to have stepping stone goals that you have to get in order to get there, like hit your first 10K month, etc. These things are important. But do not idolize these things and make them like the end goal. You have to think way bigger. One of my goals on there was to hit my first $10,000 month. If today I only made $10,000 in a month, I would literally cry. Like, there would be something wrong. Like, that is, my standards have risen so much. I want to be hitting hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. And so the point I'm trying to make is, if you aim big, what's the saying? If you aim at the stars, if you aim for the moon, you'll at least land among the stars. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get across here. Looking back on these goals, these were things I thought I would accomplish in 2, 3, 4 years. It literally took me like a year to accomplish most of these things. Okay, so a lot of times we have a tendency to aim stupidly low and underestimate how competent we truly are as human beings. Do not underestimate yourself. You can accomplish a lot. Things can change really quickly. And, have big goals. Like, it's okay to have big goals and work towards something big. It makes it fun. Chase the identity that's, capable of accomplishing a very retardedly big goal. That should be the goal for everybody. The third thing I learned to wrap up this video is that it really does not matter where you currently are in life. things could be going really shit for you. You could be in a bad spot financially, mentally, physically, whatever the case is. You can always change. You can always change, and that starts in the mind. And through enough repetition and through enough, honestly, just lying to yourself like I did here, almost anything about you can change. People like to say that this game is very genetic, and to a degree, like there's genetics involved, or that it's about the environment you were brought up in, like that nature versus nurture kind of argument. But I truly believe 95% of things you can change. When I made this vision board, when I got really clear on the things I wanted in life, I had none of that. I had none of those character traits. I was not disciplined. I was not consistent. I was not fearless. I was very scared going into like sales calls. I remember that shit. Like, I was not the person you see today. This was a complete transformation. It took a lot of effort and resources in just belief in myself that I could absolutely change to become the person I am today. And I'm not perfect. There's still things I work on, of course. There's always room to improve and evolve as humans, but enough repetition, through enough self-belief, through enough faith, and through eventually enough hard work, which those things lead to, you can just absolutely change your situation. If you're a shy person, you can become extroverted. If you're a fat person, you can become skinny and get a six-pack and get in shape. And if you're a poor person, you can get rich. Okay, so I'll end off the video with that. Like, your circumstances can change insanely in a short amount of time, but none of that will happen until you get stupidly clear on what you want out of life, what you want your life to look like, and the character traits needed in order to obtain that life. And you, through repetition, through visualization, and through literally just lying to yourself enough times, that lie becomes true. And once again, those things eventually become your actual life. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. A little bit more of like a personal, vulnerable one for me, but I think it could help a lot of you out there. In the description of this video, you will see a link to my Instagram. Go hit me with a follow on there and shoot me a DM about, what video you want to see next or whatever. Just say what's up. And yeah, boys, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.